Is slavery a sin according to the Bible? Now, if it's illegal in your country, then you got to obey the laws of your country as far as it does not cause you to sin against God. So I live in the United States. Slavery is legal and it would be a sin. But what about just looking at the Bible? And let's say a country did allow it. So let's read Leviticus chapter 24, verses 44 through 46. It says, "As for your male and female slaves, whom you may have, you may buy male and female slaves from among the nations that are around you. You may also buy from among the strangers who sojourn with you and their clans that are with you, who have been born in your land, and they may be your property. You may bequeath them to your sons after you inherit them as a possession forever. You may make slaves of them. But over your brothers, the people of Israel, you shall not rule one over another ruthlessly." So a lot of people are going to say that it's not a real slave, it's just a servant, it's an indentured servant. You work for a few years and then, you pay off. But that's not the case over here. They're called possessions. The slaves are called property. You can buy them. And then some people might say, well, the Bible is not allowing it, it's just, it's regulating it. So regulation, what I'm saying is owning a slave or having slaves a sin? I'll let you decide that. If the Bible is giving instructions, if the Bible or Moses in Leviticus is saying you may buy male and female slaves that from around the nations around you, and they're your property, is Moses saying that you can sin? No, I don't think so. Let's go on to another verse. Exodus 21, verses 20 through 21. It says, "And if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money." Now that verse right there, that's more under regulation. It's slavery was definitely permitted, but that's just saying giving slaves rights, similar to if a man had more than one wife. That he is supposed to feed her, give her clothes, and maintain conjugal rights, intercourse with her, or she can leave. Let's look at another verse that seems to permit slavery. Isaiah chapter 14, verses 1 through 2. It says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors." So it seems like the people of God, the Israelites, are going to own their own slaves. They're captives. They're taken captives. They're going to be servants and handmaids. Oftentimes, servants don't mean, like the butler who's serving your drinks or bringing you, cheese tray. It's a slave. It's a slave. So in that, it looks like that the people who the Israelites conquer in Isaiah are going to be their slaves, the slaves of Israelites. Let's look at another one. Genesis 24, verse 35. "And the Lord hath blessed my master greatly, and he is become great. And he hath given him flocks and herds and silver and gold and men servants and maidservants and camels and asses." So this is saying that the Lord has blessed my master. The Lord has given all these men servants and maidservants. And men servants or maidservants, you can look it up. It's a slave. Genesis 12:16, Abraham again. "And he entreated Abram well for her sake, and he had sheep, oxen, he asses, and men servants and maidservants, and she asses and camels." So just because a holy man, or man of God, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, did something, it doesn't mean it's holy. But you got to look at the language that is using to describe what is the alleged act: slavery, the multiple wives. So it doesn't look like slavery doesn't look like a bad thing according to the Bible. Let's go to the New Testament, Ephesians 6, 5 through 9. Servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling and singleness of your heart, as unto Christ, not with eye service as men pleasers, but as the servants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart, with good will, doing service as to the Lord and not to men, knowing that whatsoever good thing any man doeth, the same shall he receive of the Lord, whether he be bond or free. And ye masters, do the same thing unto them, forbearing, threatening, knowing that your master also is in heaven, neither is there respect of persons with him. So, of course, a person who's a slave, who's a Christian, should listen to the master. It is not encouraged for them to escape. It is not encouraged for them to seek liberty, but just be obedient, So there seems to be regulation of the Bible of slavery. There seems to be a gifting of slavery or of men and maidservants to people. There's rules on it. This seems a little bit more of a case for that slavery is not a sin than having multiple wives. Let's see what else other verses we have. 1 Timothy 6:1. Let all who are under a yoke as bondservants regard their own masters as worthy of all honor, so that the name of God and the teaching may not be reviled. So 1 Timothy 6:1 makes it look like the slaves, bondservants, are supposed to honor their masters. It's not painting the masters as in a bad light at all. Exodus 21. I don't have the verse, but Exodus 21. Now these are the rules that you shall set before them. When you buy a Hebrew slave, he shall serve 6 years, and in the 7th year he shall go out free for nothing. If he comes in single, he shall go out single. If he comes in married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master gives him a wife, and she bears him sons and daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out alone. But if the slave plainly says, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Does that look like the language around slavery? Does that look like slavery is an evil thing according to the Bible? Like it talks about sexual immorality or idolatry or thievery or violence. So slaves, servants are encouraged to obey their masters, and it does not paint the masters in a bad way. I just want to get to what the Bible says and not what man says.